They call us champions.
We know what it takes.
It takes drive,
Desire, determination, focus.
Bobby Hamilton takes the high side of the banking. Off of turn number 4, Dennis Setzer.
We're part of a brotherhood.
a history.
A fraternity.
Dennis Setzer not giving up on the bottom. Here goes Hamilton to the outside. He's trying to make the move. Stick.
Mike Skinner.
Ron Hornaday.
Jack Sprague. Craig Biffle. Mike Bliss.
Travis Quaff.
I'm a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion.
Two-time champion.
Three-time champion. They call us champions.
One of 6.
And today we welcome a 7th member.
Southern Florida plays host to the final race of the season for the Craftsman Truck Series. 24 rounds of the heavyweight bout have been contested. Bobby Hamilton and Dennis Setzer are poised for a fight to the finish. Take a look at the weather here in Homestead, Florida, just south of Miami. Cool breeze is going to keep the temperatures in the low 80s. Beautiful day for this final battle. We look at the 4 top 10 point standings. 70 points separate 1 and 2. Bobby Hamilton, Dennis Setzer, Ted Musgrave, Carl Edwards still mathematically in it until the green flag flies and Bobby takes that, and Carl Edwards will then be eliminated. With his 70-point lead, Bobby Hamilton would love to capture his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series championship. If it happens today, Bobby will have a completely different perspective than any of the champions before him, as a driver and as an owner.
Something that everybody needs to know about me. I'm not trying to do this for me. I don't care. It means more to me as an owner than it does to driver, because as an owner, when I get out of the seat, I have to turn around and sell sponsorship. I have to turn around and hire people and buy products. So anytime you have that on a resume as a company that you're a NASCAR champion, the team is a NASCAR championship team, then that's more things, more product, you know, that you can sell for your company. We started doing our own stuff in-house, picking the chassis. We always did our bodies, then we incorporated the gear and transmission stuff in. And as an owner, it makes me feel pretty proud. I deal with 40 people, and every one of them have somewhat of a different personality. So it takes me to position all these personalities together. And basically, what I did from last year to this year is I didn't kick anybody out. I just moved the personalities around. And you all the time got to match these personalities up to get the best out of the race team. And then in doing that, you got X amount of a budget. And me being a driver and a racer like I am, I don't know anything else. I'm always running over budget, so I got to pull the reins back on myself all the time. So it's very tough to do that. It's very trying. When I flip that switch up and pull the visor down, I'm in my quiet time. That's my time away from everything, and I'm having fun. I've won 7 or 8 championships in my life, obviously not as much as this means, but it's okay if we finish 2nd, because we finished 7th last year. But my motivation is winning this thing for Dodge. They've never won one. I think they're well deserved for one, but this sport don't give anybody anything. So if we can pull it off, it's been a big accomplishment for all of us.
And so far this season, it's 4 victories for the Square D team, but you did hear Bobby Hamilton say he's an owner and a driver. Today, he's got to wear both hats, but I guess it's the driver that's the most important. Tell me about your strategy today. Do you go out there and race hard, or are you looking for a 14th place finish?
We're going to see how the hand's dealt to us. We're going to go at the start and try to get in line, you know, and not run side by side with anybody, obviously, but if we're good enough, we're going to try to stay up in top 4 or 5 all day.
Bobby, it's late in the day here. Cup qualifying went a little bit late. Now, there is a chance that at the end of this race, it's going to get dark before we're all done. How do you approach that?
I don't, you know, hopefully we won't have a lot of cautions and hurry up and run this thing through, you know, because I'm concerned about cautions. You're obviously concerned about being mixed up in it. So hopefully everybody will have the dark in mind and want to finish this thing as quick as we can, not have to worry about it.
Okay, good luck today. We'll be watching that Square D Dodge. Bobby Hamilton going for his first championship for not only he as a driver and an owner, but also for his manufacturer, Dodge. Rick?
Well, thank you, Ray. Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Allen alongside of Phil Parsons and Michael Waltrip. Now, if Bobby Hamilton takes the green flag, Carl Edwards is eliminated from the possibility. If Carl Edwards, or if 2 drivers fall out at the beginning of the race, then Ted Musgrave is eliminated from the competition for the championship. That leaves it down to 2 drivers racing for this championship, Phil.
Rick, Bobby Hamilton has to finish 14th or better, and no matter what happens, he wins the championship. Dennis Setzer, on the other hand, has to do all he can do, try to lead as many laps as he can, get up front, try to win the race, and make Bobby Hamilton do something. But for those of you that have watched the last few weeks, we saw a flat tire take a sure victory away from Ted Musgrave at Phoenix. We saw Bobby Hamilton lose the majority of his point lead a few weeks ago at Martinsville with a broken radiator. And last week, Dennis Setzer had a for sure top 5 finish taken away by a lap truck. So anything can happen. In Homestead, this is only the second race on a newly reconfigured track. Bobby Hamilton won this race last year. He obviously knows his way around this racetrack, but hey, anything can happen here at Homestead.
It's a lot different for Bobby Hamilton this year, Phil. You heard him say just a second ago, he finished 7th in the championship last year. He came here with nothing else to do but win the race. Today, should he be able to finish 14th? Yes, easily. He should be able to do that. But so many factors can contribute to where you finish. This racetrack, for example, you can race 2 and 3 wide. Bobby makes a move under somebody can stick it 3 wide, he can lose the championship right here on the front straightaway like Brendan Gaughan did last year. So I'm all giddy about this stuff. This is big-time auto racing, and I'm glad that I'm going to be here to watch it.
And welcome again to the booth, obviously. This time you made it before the second segment, so we were able to put you on camera and everybody knew who you were.
I'm Mike. I'm Mike from Kentucky, and I can't wait to watch these trucks go at it. This track is so much fun. You know, we seen it last year, Phil. Just an unbelievable experience as those guys race for that championship. Same deal this year.
And the drivers are about to get into their trucks because we are about to get underway with this, the 25th and final race of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. One man looks to spoil the championship celebration of Bobby Hamilton. Dennis Setzer would also like to lay claim to the 2004 hardware. When we return, Dennis lets us know what it would be like to be the champion of the Truck Series. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series pre-race show is brought to you by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series pre-race show is presented by Craftsman. And the green flag comes out, and we're underway with the final race of the season. Big problems. Our point leader gets spun around and hit hard into the wall.
They fought this war, they've come this far, and have it in like that.
Well, Ted pulled to the inside there. You're not supposed to do that. They are going to black flag Ted Musgrave. NASCAR continues to determine who the 2003 champion is. Our 2003 champion, Travis Quandre, in the IWX Chevrolet. Last year proved that no one can be counted out of a championship even after the checkered flag flies. Dennis Setzer and the number 46 team have come a long way to put themselves within striking distance of the 2004 championship.
I worked a full-time job, drove a truck during the day, delivery truck during the day, got off the delivery truck, went to work on the race car and worked till 12, 1 or 2 o'clock at night every night, and passed by the house and seen my wife sometime before time to go to work right there every day. And it takes a really good family to help you through those times right there. There's a lot of years that my wife supported me and helped me do that. And we put off doing a lot of things, having children and things like that. We put off to later in life, and I guess somehow there was a plan because everything worked out really well. I really enjoy what I'm doing now, so I'm afraid something could have worked out different where I wouldn't be what I'm doing now. Right now, the Craftsman Truck Series works out really great for my family life. You know, to be in the Craftsman Truck Series winning races every week, man, that's exactly where I need to be right now. You know, last year we had a great team and finished second in the points. We've got most of the guys we had in Oklahoma. We brought most of those guys out to Statesville, still involved with the team. David Dollar is still the owner. We plugged in and made this team even better. So that was the big deal about this season. You know, we moved it out here, and we didn't get to actually move till December, January 1st this year. We were really worried about the team having a growing pains, you know, plugging all these people in together and things like that. And we come out of the box, and we couldn't believe how strong we were. Our trucks have been so consistent and no failures and stuff, and that's been our play card all year. I don't think you can play out exactly what you want to do each race because you got your competitor you can't be in control of what he does. All we can do is be in control of what we do, and that's what we try to do each week. I don't guess our whole year has been just based on looking at championship thoughts right there. It's been running the best we can each week, and if a championship comes out of that so be it. You know, we're going to proceed on and continue building our team and be ready to go even bigger and better next year. You know, with our Silverado team. We're here for a long time in the sport, and we're just kind of continuing on.
No matter who wins this championship, both drivers have had phenomenal seasons. As we see the 46 of Dennis Setzer getting ready. We compare the two up top in points. Bobby Hamilton, Dennis Setzer, second in points. 4 wins for Hamilton, 2 for Setzer. The top 5's 12 for Hamilton. And one of the biggest points in this is the bonus points. 85 bonus points for Bobby Hamilton, only 35 for Dennis Setzer. Setzer looking to win this race. He almost has to win this race to get in front of Bobby Hamilton. And he would be the 9th different winner at Homestead Miami Speedway. 8 races have been run at Homestead Miami Speedway. 8 different drivers have found victory lane. Today, 4 of the former winners are in the field. That leaves 32 other drivers trying to add their name to this illustrious list. Will we have our first repeat winner? Stay tuned. We'll find out. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Ford 200 on Speed Channel. Trucks begin to roll onto the track. We will look at the Domino starting grid, how they will line up. Claiming his second pole of the year, David Rudiman up on top. The NTN Bearings number 17, Matt Crafton on the outside of him.
Bobby Labonte makes his second start of the year in the 47 Chevrolet Silverado, inside row number 3.
Good run for Park in qualifying. That truck runs well in the races. He hasn't qualified particularly well this year. I think maybe you could look for something out of him today.
Points leader starts on the inside of row 5, Bobby Hamilton.
There's our Johnny Benson. Our man Johnny Benson always seems to run in the top 10, qualifies outside row number 7 in the 14th position in his Toyota.
Kenny Schrader will be on the inside of row 11. Dennis Setzer second in the points. Starts inside of row 12.
Biffle on the pole for the Cup race forever and got knocked off last car out. He starts an infrequent start in the Truck Series this year.
Rounding out the lineup.
Jerry Cook back there inside row number 17. He takes a provisional.
I would think that one gentleman that would be more proud of our pole sitter than anyone would be the truck owner of that number 17. And joining us, we happen to have that truck owner. Darrell Waltrip joins us in the booth.
Oh, it's nice to be here, Rick. Nice to join you guys. Boy, what a difference a year makes, huh? We were here last year. What did we have? 5 guys that had a shot at winning the championship, and there were no Toyotas in the field. And man, what a difference a year makes.
Look at the Craftsman track description of Homestead Miami Speedway.
This track's a lot of fun to drive since they've reconfigured it. You can run right down on the white line. We've seen the groove fill over the last day or two here at Homestead move up. Most of the cars and trucks that have been on the track have run high around it. Will they go back to the bottom today? You think we'll see multi-groove racing in the turns?
I think we'll see a lot of side-by-side racing.
Yeah, Mike, I was just wondering if it is the grip what it was last year. I mean, this thing is not black like it was last year.
No, and the grip isn't there like it was last year. Last year, the pole for the Cup race was around a 29.80. They're only able to run 30.10 this year. So it's a couple of 3/10 slower. And when the track slows down, guys will start searching for someone to grab a bite.
We ride along with a few of the drivers. Currently second in the point standing. Starting 23rd is Dennis Setzer.
The Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet of Kenny Schrader. Kenny starts in the 21st position, always runs well when he gets in this truck.
There's David Starr. We watched him do a great job from inside this truck, winning Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. I think that was one of the most interesting jobs I've seen a guy do inside of a truck, protecting a lead, grabbing the win late in the going.
Boy, Benson, he really turned that team around, didn't he? I mean, they struggled earlier in the year, changed drivers, and got Benson in there, and they have been a top 5, top 10 truck every week.
Also riding along with the Super Chips Ford of Carl Edwards. This will be his final ride in that truck as he'll move on to either Busch or Cup Series next year.
And Carl's moments away from being eliminated from this championship hunt. As soon as the green flag falls out, Carl's out of it.
Craftsman win from the pole. $32,000 goes to David Rudiman if he's able to win this race from the pole.
Can you say cha-ching?
I believe that NTN Bearings would really love that. Ray.
Hey, Rick, all the drivers and crew chiefs have been on the radio down here complimenting each other on what a great year it was, but I really liked what Cowboy Starlin had to say to Carl Edwards. He said, man, you are a champion. Even though we won't get that trophy today, working with you has been the greatest experience of my life, and I would echo that too. Sorry to see Carl go, because at Daytona this year, he gave away his trophy to a young man named Josh Basinger. Would you ever believe giving away a trophy from Daytona? Carl Edwards is a true class act, and Cowboy Starlin's going to miss him for sure. But today, they believe they've got a shot at one more win before this team breaks up. Wendy?
It all comes down to 70 points today for Dennis Setzer. Assuming Dennis wins and leads the most laps, Bobby Hamilton has to finish 14th or better. The odds are against the 46 team, though, because they have not led a lap in over 13 races. Now, our points leader, Bobby Hamilton, brought a pretty reliable truck. He's raced it 17 times this year, but not the 46 team. They have a brand new truck for our season finale. Crew Chief Danny Gill said his theory is we have 70 points to gain and nothing to lose. Rick?
Well, the sun's shining on these trucks, and that could come into play later on in this race because the sun will be setting in their eyes when they're coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, it really will. Ruderman told me he's got his windshield taped down like he was racing on dirt. He just got a little crack right at the bottom to see out of.
Now, Daryl, I started this gig earlier in the year, and I thought that little boogity thing you did was, you know, it had merit. People seemed to enjoy it, so I thought, she bangs, she bangs. No legs.
No.
Nobody got into that at all.
Didn't quite go over, DW.
No.
Didn't quite happen.
I think from a driver's perspective, I wouldn't be very happy about that.
What about she moved? She moved.
Well, you know, any of those shemoos or shebangs might be all right for some folks, but in NASCAR, there's only one way to start a race.
Got to tell them to pull their belts down tight.
You do that.
Okay, and I don't know what else, so.
I don't know, but here they come to get the green, boys. Been a while since I did it, but boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys!
The start of the final race of the 2004 season, David Ruderman takes the green flag for this, the 25th race of the year.
Go ahead. David was a little bit loose in the final practice, so I don't think he's going to be real happy with this situation right here, 3 wide going into 3, and he made the right move. He backed off.
Well, Carl Edwards moving up from his third place starting position. Matt Crafton able to get a good bite up top.
Fellas, we're 3 wide already. We haven't even completed 1 lap.
That Carl Edwards move looked like that move he put on at Darlington last week in the Cup race when he did a slide job on Jimmy Johnson trying to get the lead.
Matt Crafton out in front claims the first lap lead. And problems in turn 1. Kelly Sutton and John Wood getting collected up in turn 1. Caution will come out. Because of these 2 trucks, and we don't know if John Wood will be able to continue on. It looks as though he's going to try to get back into the pits and see what the damage is. But if these 2 trucks are off of the track, that will mean that Ted Musgrave has been eliminated from the championship hunt.
That's a horrible way for John Wood to end his truck career, too. They just announced earlier this week that he's going to go over to the Busch Series, drive for ST Motorsports, so this will be his last ride in a Roush truck.
But just think about Musgrave. At least he doesn't have to run the whole race before he finds out this year.
Looks as though John Wood got a little sideways and Kelly Sutton got caught up.
Well, it appeared that John wasn't too happy with whatever went down when he left the scene of the accident, so might be a little early to determine what happened. Might need to roll back up the front straightaway and see if we can get any more details.
Our first caution has come out in our final race of the season. Dennis Setzer has to finish in the top 14 to even have a chance. We'll be back with more. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Ford 200 on Speed Channel is brought to you by Ford, the official truck of NASCAR. By Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. And by Domino's Pizza, the official pizza of NASCAR. Tonight live at 7 p.m. on Speed Channel, Steve Burns and his cast of characters, Jeff, Larry, and Michael, joined by Rusty. Post-track side live from right here. Jamie McMurray will join them as well as the Truck Series champion, 7 p.m. this evening.
These guys are glad that caution fell, Phil, I believe, because Darrell said Ruderman was loose. You saw several guys 2 and 3 wide. At least this gets things strung out for a minute or two. They might make it a corner or two before it bunches up again, but they get a chance to catch their breath. They realize what their trucks are like right now. They ran a couple laps, evaluate how your truck's handling, and go back at it.
We've seen so many of these trucks get loose on the inside, so when they're running side by side like this, that's really a precarious situation for the trucks on the inside, and can be on the outside also.
One of the things that they're dealing with, too, is low air pressure. I think this will be a big plus for them, and I think Ray's got a report for us.
Yeah, Darrell, I just heard Carl Edwards say on the radio it looked as if Matt Crafton was throwing some water out of his truck, and that might be just because they were going around under caution, but he said he was getting water on the windshield, so they told him keep an eye on that 6 and try as hard as you can to get by him in case there's a chance he may be getting ready to blow up.
Oh, a little loose for Jack Sprague. Look at him get up in the light gray area.
He had to chase it way up the hill to regain control of that Chevy Silverado.
Remember that thing I said where they'd get strung out for?
Like right, no, that's maybe that's not it.
That didn't work, did it?
Hey, look at that 47 truck right there, Michael. Bobby Labonte. Everybody up and down pit road said Bobby Labonte had the best truck at happy hour.
They are stringing out a little bit now, Michael.
Yeah, but that'll change.
Bobby Hamilton on the outside making the move on our pole sitter. David Ruderman on the inside. Hamilton, and we've seen Hamilton make passes on the high side before.
Trouble.
Oh, that is Robert Huffman into the wall coming off of turn number 4.
Man, he just lost that thing off of 4, and he could never get it back. He just kept chasing it right into the inside wall.
It looked as though he was going to get it, and then all of a sudden, right into the inside wall. Moved hard left, and this, again, they're coming off of turn 4, and that sun is definitely in their eyes, and you can see the tape on the windshield to try to block some of that.
Pretty hard contact with the inside left side of that truck. See a lot of damage.
Now, Phil, he came off of 4, and it looked like the thing, almost like something broke or the throttle stuck. He just kept losing it all the way into the inside wall. Never slowed a bit.
And that's not the safer barriers down there on the inside wall. So that's a hard hit right on the driver's side. I hope Robert's okay.
Safety crews getting to him. Let's take another look at what happened.
Just got a little bit loose off the corner there.
You know, I really think he thought he was going to save it, and he just stayed after it, and he couldn't quite catch up with it. I mean, look at the speed he's carrying into that wall.
Wow, that's a pretty solid hit. If you hit with the front and then the back, it seems like you lose a lot of the energy, but when you hit it as flush as Robert did like there, it really transfers a lot of that energy right into the seat. We're riding with David Starr. Watch to the outside of your screen on the outside of the racetrack. As you mentioned, it looks like he almost had it saved. He thought he was going to save it. That white truck slid by him just before he went across the racetrack.
Second caution has come out as the safety crews are dealing with Robert Huffman. Problems coming off turn number 4. We'll be back with Ford 200.
Welcome back to Homestead, Miami, as we're under caution for the second time today. Now, you may be wondering what Bobby Hamilton was thinking at the beginning of the day. Well, he's thinking championship. And what's his crew thinking? They're thinking they'd like to keep track of whether or not they'll have a championship. We give you points as of now on TV all the time, but check out this this computer program that they have. They're able to keep track of the position that everybody's in. They've got all the 4 guys that had a shot. Of course, we've said that Musgrave may soon be eliminated. Carl Edwards already. But right here, look at the margin. From Hamilton to Setzer right now, it's 104 points. They don't even need to watch Speed Channel. They already know down here in their pits.
Yeah, but everyone doesn't have the luxury of what they have. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. live on Speed Channel, it's NASCAR Nextel Cup Happy Hour. Speed Channel is your exclusive home for Nextel Cup qualifying and final practice. Tomorrow's the last one before Sunday's big showdown, before deciding who is going to win the chase for the first Nextel Cup. Tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. for Nextel Cup Happy Hour only on Speed Channel. Welcome back to the final race of the season, the Ford 200, live on Speed Channel from Homestead Miami Speedway, just south of Miami, Florida. Second caution has come out today.
We talked to Bobby Hamilton before the race. He said he didn't want to see any cautions, just run this thing off. That's not working out too good. We ain't even made it 10 laps yet. We've already had 2 cautions, so you can't predict how these things are going to go, but I like the way that truck of Bobby's is running. He got up on the outside, made the move around some guys. The closer he can get to the front, if his truck's comfortable, we can do that, the safer it is and a better place to be.
The Waltrip brothers joining us in the booth. Darrell Waltrip, Michael Waltrip, as well as Phil Parsons. I'm Rick Allen, and on pit road, it's being dutifully handled by Wendy Norris and Ray Dunlap. The green flag flies again. Matt Crafton still trying to hold on to that top spot, but Steve Park now on the hunt.
Carl Edwards has been a little bit slow on the restarts. Mike Skinner was able to drive right underneath him before they got to turn number 1.
With more on Steve Park, Wendy Norris.
Steve Park was 8th at the start of this race in the point standings. He was only 2 points behind Travis Kvapil for 7th. On that caution, he was having communication with the 6 team. He was trying to get out and lead a lap to gain 5 extra points. He's thinking to move further up in the top 10 in points. Matt Crafton, you know, he's interviewing for jobs right now, so he was not going to give him that lead. Steve Park said, I'll just work hard for it.
It's a great point by Wendy. Matt Crafton right now does not know what he's going to do next year. He's being replaced in that truck by Ron Hornaday. Matt's had such a great season. A number of top 5 finishes, a couple 3rd place finishes for his career best. A tremendous amount of top 10 finishes. A great driver, and I know we'll see him next year.
Very consistent year. But coming into this race, he'd only led 18 laps, and so right now being out in front of the pack, he's definitely putting some good marks on his resume. Side-by-side racing. 2 Toyotas side-by-side. David Rudeman on the inside and Travis Kvapil on the outside.
It is so hard to complete a pass down on the bottom of this racetrack. Rudeman tried to get up underneath Bobby Hamilton, winds up losing 2 or 3 spots because of it. Another guy that's not faring too well early in the going field's Dennis Setzer.
I talked to Danny Gill right before the race, and he said, hey, we were horrible in happy hour. We changed absolutely everything on this truck.
Oh, trouble down turn 4, guys.
Problems for J.R. Patton in the 67. He gets spun around, comes to a stop in front of pit road. At least the commitment line. He tries to get it going again, but the caution flag will fly.
Come on around. Come on around. Stay up next to the wall. Stay up next to the wall. Keep it going. Keep it going.
And so our 3rd caution has come out at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Well, we didn't expect pit stops this early, but Bobby Hamilton said he was very free in the middle, so they wanted to make a track bar adjustment for the Square D Dodge. Now, also, the number 46 of Dennis Setzer, 2nd in our points, comes in. He said he just could not hold on to his truck, so they're going to put 4 tires on it, also make a wedge adjustment. Wendy?
No tires for Steve Park. It was fuel only, and they also checked the front valence. They thought he had a little bit of damage, but the 62 truck looked good when it came to a stop, but fuel only for Steve Park.
If I was racing for a championship right now, and that's Bobby Hamilton, I don't know if I'd want to be at the back of the pack right now. Now, some of these other guys makes a lot of sense, make some good adjustments, maybe help their truck, but I think I may have rode it out there for a little bit longer.
This is why we're under caution. The problem coming off of turn number 4.
Sean Murphy, the 07, got a little bit loose. Made some contact with J.R. Patton.
Patton slid down the track, came to rest just in front of the pit entrance. We'll be back. And welcome back to the Ford 200 live on Speed Channel from Homestead Miami Speedway. Brian Henry, a South Florida student, won the Newspaper and Education Hispanic Heritage Truck Design Contest for Greg Biffle's number 44 truck, using color symbolic of the Mexican flag. So congratulations to Brian Henry.
Fine looking young man there. Designed up Biffle's hot rod. Check out that bird on the side. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. He's up to the 14th position, too. That Ray Stonkus, Rick Crawford's longtime crew chief, is crew chiefing that truck today. He prepared the truck back at the Circle Bar team's shops.
You had to figure Biffle would become a part of this story before the day's over. He's just too good. He's too good of a racer not to get that thing toward the front. Looks like here he comes.
Dennis Setzer had to come back in to have a little bit more work done in his truck, so he will start way in the back, 33rd, as we restart this race for the 3rd time.
Or the very last truck on the lead lap right now. A lot of catch up to do for Dennis Setzer.
And DW, you mentioned that's probably not a place you want to be running right now if you're running for a championship.
Well, I wouldn't want to be back there, but, you know, these guys do this every week. They know their tire situation, fuel situation, maybe a little better than I do, but just from a strategy standpoint of view, it might pay off, but not from a track position.
Right now, Dennis Setzer is the last truck on the track, Phil. He's not ahead of anyone. Bobby Hamilton's driving around the outside of trucks, heading back to the front. So the forecast for Setzer doesn't look very bright right now with the way his truck's performing as opposed to Bobby Hamilton's. But remember, he's got to finish. Everything's got to go right for this whole race for Bobby to win this championship. Anything can happen.
That's right. He's got to finish 14th if Dennis Setzer was to get his truck better and win this race. In a Craftsman Truck Series race right now, 14th is not a gimme.
Just amazed at this groove. It's just really spread way up high. These trucks exiting turn 4 are already all the way up in the white of the track where nobody's ever run before.
It looks a lot like Atlanta right now, doesn't it? As high as the groove moves up in Atlanta. Look at, here's the points right now. Dennis Setzer, by virtue of restarting this race at the very back, has fallen all the way to the 4th position if the race were to end right now.
Very tight competition, 2nd through 4th. And even there, Dennis Setzer was 2nd last year. He'd love to finish 2nd in this championship if he doesn't win it.
Well, there's a long way to go, boys. And like I say, strategy is different for every team, and maybe just laying back and letting it come to you. Sometimes that works.
Yeah, Darrell, there was a little strategy play last week with the tires. I don't know if you followed along or not, where we said they probably would never get a chance to use those 4 extra tires they had. We were all over top of that one, so we're not going to sit here and think that we know exactly what's going on in the 4 and the 46's teams. We're just observing and reporting what's going down right this minute, not possibly what will be coming.
Yeah, one thing they both know is they got to finish this race. So that's the first thing you got to consider.
Good move by Johnny Benson to take over the 8th position from also a Toyota driver, Travis Kvapil.
Tight battle for 2nd. Bobby Labonte, Mike Skinner.
Look at Labonte's line. He's running a full truck width higher than Matt Crafton. And like you said, Phil, he was the best truck in practice, happy hour practice, and I bet he takes the lead right down here in turn 4.
Michael, what's so neat about that situation right there? You remember how much fun you had driving that truck at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Bobby Labonte had so much fun driving that truck at Martinsville. He called them and said, can we please run Homestead? He said, I will do anything to try to facilitate us running that truck at Homestead, and here they are running in the top 2.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about that high line is, man, you get a lot of straightaway speed. You get off that corner nice and free up high, going to carry you down that straightaway.
And there's for the lead. Bobby Labonte gets by Matt Crafton. This is for 11th, side-by-side racing. 2 Toyotas on the inside. David Rudiman, our pole sitter. And this is for 2nd now is Mike Skinner, making his way by Matt Crafton. Crafton had led all of the laps up to this point. Now Bobby Labonte takes the point.
Shane Meal looks to the inside of Matt Crafton. Also, Shane actually got into the fence yesterday with this very truck. Richie Waters and his crew banged out the sheetmetal along the right-hand side. He said, we replaced all the ball joints, tie rods. We think we have it pretty good. Apparently so.
Bobby Labonte out in front. Wendy,
trouble down here, turn 2, guys.
Oh, we have problems in turn 1 and 2. David Starr getting up too high. It looked into the wall. Makes his way down onto the access road coming off of pit road.
And Darrell, he spun right down in front of Bobby Hamilton.
That's what I was saying there. I was holding my breath. But I'm sure Bobby Hamilton was doing more than that.
Doesn't look like David made any contact with the outside wall.
It looked like it was lightly, slightly, and politely.
Come this time. If you have any flats, come this time.
They may not be flat, but they're going to be. They're flat spotted without a doubt.
Yeah, he went for a
come
slide.
This time. If you don't stay out, make a lap.
Dave McCarty tells him, if you have any flat tires, let's don't take a chance of tearing the bodywork off this truck. Come on in the pits.
Down on the inside of another truck. We've seen the truck on the inside get loose when they get down into the corners. Wow, he got loose in a hurry.
Looked like he got loose almost before he even turned in the corner. Looks like he did a great job. Ooh, was that Bobby Hamilton?
It was. I'm telling you, he just barely got through.
Very lucky for not only David Starr, but Bobby Hamilton.
Just to keep our eye out for Bobby Hamilton.
Oh, here he comes.
He must have went around the other side. Where was he?
I don't know.
We missed it.
We missed it. We thought it was Bobby. There was Bobby right there, so it wasn't quite as close as we thought it was.
That was super slow-mo, though.
That's right. It happened a lot faster than that.
I wish Rex would happen that way, don't you? Man, slow them suckers down, you can miss more of them.
There's times when you get in trouble, it seems like it's slow motion before you finally hit something.
Oh, yeah, because you know what's going to happen. What do you think, guys? Think they'll all pit?
I think they're coming. I think they're coming.
I think the 4 and the 46 might stay out, though. What do you think?
They didn't take tires. I think they'll get tires this time.
Bobby Labonte brings the field down pit road, right?
Well, Shane Meal said, we'll come if the leaders do, and he did just that. They want to go down a couple of rounds on the track bar to tighten him up a little bit. Also pull just one little bit of tape off of the front because Shane said his truck was running just a little bit hot. Now let's check in with Wendy.
The 47, Bobby Labonte is happy with his truck. They will take 4 tires, but no adjustments for the 47. Also, you see Skinner coming in. The right front was shaking a little bit on that tire, so the caution came out. Perfect timing for Mike Skinner. They were a tick tight. They're going to make a track bar adjustment and add tape on the grill.
And a lot of different strategies this time, guys. Some guys took no tires again.
We saw the 46 indeed stay out, Ray.
Well, I'll tell you, the Ford truck was the one, Michael, that I had my eye on here for Bobby Hamilton. A very, very slow pit stop, but I heard him on the radio say just before this race began, he said, guys, no mistakes here. We cannot have a mistake on pit road. So if the pit stops are a little bit slower than normal, that's better than us having a loose lug nut or whatever other problems we might encounter. So a bit of a slow stop, and I think that'll put Hamilton towards the back as we get ready to restart this time.
Bobby Hamilton wanted nothing like what happened there. A tire getting away from someone's pit stall. It wasn't Bobby Hamilton's, though. We'll be back with more racing. Miami. Flag just flying as we restart the race on lap 29. Dennis Setzer currently being shown in 5th position. Stayed out, trying to get track position. Wants those very, very vital points for possibly leading laps, but Matt Crafton got by him.
Yeah, that truck's just not working for Dennis right now. He's causing a traffic jam off turn 4 just because he can't go.
Boy, he is. He's dogged me.
And because of where Dennis Setzer started, we look at the points as of now. Setzer on top of Hamilton by 15.
That's changing drastically, Rick, with every turn of the wheel because Dennis Setzer's losing positions left and right. There were 5 trucks that stayed out on the racetrack that time, elected not to pit. Dennis was one of those, but he's fallen back now, I think, out of the top 2.
Oh, problem. Dennis Setzer trying to go up high. Deborah Renshaw was there. Got into her, but no one got spun around.
Yeah, that explains why Setzer was at the back of the pack there for a little earlier.
Greg Biffle on the inside, side by side with Dennis Setzer right now. Mike Skinner, the 5 Toyota, right behind him. And we just saw what the points were a few moments ago. This is 1 lap later. Dennis Setzer went from having about a 15-point lead to a 2-point deficit. That's how quick it can change. Each position when you're up there where he was 5 or 4 points. Now each position is 3 points if he loses another spot.
You know, Michael, you were Dennis's teammate at Charlotte, and you had a shot at winning a race, and he did win the race. I would have thought Bobby Labonte being his teammate here would have been a really big advantage for him.
I just was so impressed with that entire Morgan Dollar team, Darrell, when I drove for them as they go 3 wide down into turn 1. We've seen this all day. This isn't really surprising. These guys are battling back in the field.
That's Bobby Hamilton right at the very back of the group. Watch him pass 1 truck, 2 trucks. He may make it 3 wide and get underneath his teammate, Chad Chaffin.
Yeah, he got him 4 Mr. Feelgoods, and he's using them.
Ray?
Well, guys, a number of people did not put tires on down here, so I was a little curious about that on lap 27 when those pit stops happened. The 99 took fuel only, the 6 took fuel only, and a few others. Now, a number of guys told me that these tires are really good on their 40th or 50th lap, but I think it's a little bit of a surprise they didn't put on tires. What do you guys think?
I think it is a surprise. I think I would have put tires on there. We've had so many cautions early on. You have to feel like this race is going to get a little green flag run at some point.
Yeah, but I think that's the key right there, Phil. It's all those caution laps. You don't have a lot of green flag laps on this first set. Save those for the end of the race. What happened last week?
Extra tires helped.
They didn't win the race, though.
Sean Murphy's out in front of the field. Terry Cook sitting second. Ted Musgrave is third, but Sean Murphy in the 07 leading at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Yeah, leading and driving away. We hadn't seen this out of Sean. Where's this coming from, Phil? Took advantage of some good track position. Obviously has a good truck. Ted Musgrave's running second now. These trucks that were leading the race earlier are beginning to march through these cats that stayed out. But Sean Murphy has himself a nice little separation from the field. You can see Terry Cook there. Matt Crafton's on the inside of him.
And now
Carl Edwards just takes them 3 wide.
Uh-oh, look out, Carl. Look out.
Oh, man. Carl Edwards on the inside of Terry Cook and then had to make a pass of a slower lap truck coming on the low side of the track. And we had mentioned Sean Murphy. This is only his 4th career NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series start.
Yeah, but you know what, Carl Edwards, I think that dirt track racing, Michael, must give you some kind of extra skill or nerve. I'm not sure which. Well, to be able to thread the needle the way he can.
You should have seen him just qualify as Nextel Cup car here on speed. He was 3rd, 4th, and 5th fastest car to the middle of turn 3 and 4 and ran through the dirt, blowing dust and stuff all up in the white, never cracked the throttle and still got 11th. But he missed the whole turn, but he never slowed down.
That move he made last week at Darlington when he put the slide job on Jimmy Johnson was the best I think. I thought he was going out of there.
Battle for the lead. Ted Musgrave trying to take over the top spot and gain 5 bonus points, although if one other truck falls out of this race, it will all be for naught because he will not be able to win the championship. Wendy?
Ted Musgrave was one of those trucks that came down pit road on lap 26, but took fuel only for Ted Musgrave. He said his truck needed a little bit more grip, and he was looking for a groove at the beginning of the race, but no tires on the one truck just yet.
Seeing that a lot. A lot of the drivers elected to come in, get some fuel. They don't want to be caught out here having to make a green flag pit stop because they're low on fuel. They say, hey, we'll save our tires for later, but we need to make sure we're in sync on fuel.
Ted Musgrave to the inside of Murphy.
Trouble off turn 2 is Schrader. He's around, and here comes traffic. Keep it up there, Kenny. Keep it up there, buddy.
Actually, off turn 4, Kenny Schrader gets spun around. Caution coming out again on lap 38.
Take a look at what the drivers are looking at now. That you see the sun, you see out of Schrader's windshield. All these drivers came off that corner looking straight at the sun, and they all managed to avoid Kenny. Good heads-up driving.
Bobby Hamilton got him another look at a spinning truck. I bet you that's too many that two more than he thought he would see today. He tried to tell us before the race started, Darrell, he just wanted this thing to be smooth and run it right off.
Yeah, no cautions. Yeah, no cautions, no nothing.
That hasn't worked out at all.
Tough break for Kenny Schrader. I know how much he was looking forward to this race. He said he was not very good out there. We'll see if we can see what happened. Steve Park was right behind him. I'm not sure if there was any contact or not.
Knowing Schrader the way I do, I'd say there might have been a little contact.
Yeah,
because he don't just spin out.
He was dead in the throttle. Looked like almost a little bit of a shudder there.
The thing shook. I don't know if it
did it have a flat.
Might have had a right rear go down.
Something shook on that truck.
Sure did.
There's Bobby Hamilton down on the inside of the track.
Wave them off. Go down. There you go. Come on.
I would say it'd give you gray hair, but you can't say that about Bobby.
Kenny Schrader bringing the Federated Auto Parts number 52 to stop in the garage area. And that is our 5th caution of the day. We'll be back. Ted Musgrave on top. Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway for the 25th race of the season for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Ted Musgrave made a pit stop, and so he relinquished the lead to Johnny Benson, who's out in front of this field now.
Sean Murphy also came down pit road. He was our 2nd place truck when the caution flag came out.
Side by side, Bobby Labonte, Terry Cook.
Terry had stayed out on that earlier caution here. He gained some track position. He's falling back through the field. You can see David Rudeman there running in 3rd position. He fell all the way back to 14th from the pole position, Phil. Now he's rebounded up to the 3rd spot. They didn't get tires on that caution, Darrell. Do you think that was a good move for him?
Well, it obviously is paying off. He told me that they were real low on air. They were starting real low air pressure, and I think that was what was hurting him in the beginning. And these tires are not wearing, and the longer they run, the faster they get.
Wendy?
That's exactly right, Darrell. His truck was a little free at the start, and he said he was waiting for the air pressure to come up. Now on lap 26, he did take fuel only, but also made a track bar adjustment. He went down 2 rounds, and the only complaint from David right now is that he's a little free in the center.
And that was the complaint he had, Wendy, earlier today before the race ever started, that they were fighting in practice.
You can see the best truck in practice there, Bobby Labonte, right on Rudeman. Those guys are keeping pace with the leaders. We got a good battle up front and also back in the field. Here you see Mike Skinner working the inside of Terry Cook.
Looked like Greg Biffle. He would try to poke his nose underneath Mike Skinner. That's Greg Biffle right there following that group.
He's raced that truck up into the top 10, Phil.
No big surprise. Greg Biffle has won so many of these truck races. I think he's a 16-time winner and a former champion.
Got a race for the lead here, boys.
Out Up turn 4, Carl Edwards on the high side of Johnny Benson. The Super Chips Ford gets by Johnny Benson when they go into turn 1, but Johnny Benson was leading when they went across the start-finish line. And so Johnny Benson getting another lap led.
One thing I noticed about Ruderman, and you pointed out to me earlier, Michael, is he started running a lot higher, and that seems to really have helped his truck.
Right now, Bobby Labonte's up under him, just behind these two. The first 4 trucks are side by side, battling for the
Carl going way wide.
He's used to being up there. That's where he qualified at just a minute ago in the Cup car.
They don't know how to say cushion.
And he did lead that lap.
he likes the cushion. Oh, trouble. Here we go. Off turn 4. 43 around.
Straighten up. Oh.
Tim Schindel.
Yeah, Tim Schindel. Tough break. Did a great job coming in and qualifying that truck in this field.
Well, those guys on the back, they didn't have any idea the caution was out. It was a late caution, I think. They were waiting to see if the 43 got going or not.
There's another caution, Phil. How many is that? 5?
That's the 6th caution that's come out, Mike. 6th caution.
Yeah, and they're all off turn 4.
44 laps, 6 cautions.
What do you think about that, Michael?
I just think that the guys are moving that line up, you know, and it's freeing their trucks up. Obviously, they run up higher because that's where they finally get to when the truck will turn. So it's a little bit freer up high. Some guys' trucks just get loose when they exit turn 4.
Go hang that right rear tire out on the gray stuff. Maybe there's a little bit of debris up there, and it just gets these trucks turned around. We saw Carl Edwards get up there, and he just stayed in the gas and drove to the lead.
And we see Tim moving around inside that truck. Just to let you know, earlier, the 12 of Robert Huffman did a very similar move coming off of 4, came and hit the inside wall. NASCAR has let us know that they're actually transporting him to a local hospital to do further observations, but we did see him get out of his truck and walk to the ambulance, and so hopefully that's precautionary measures.
Got a challenge for second place. 23, Johnny Benson up beside of Ruderman there. That's the signal that you think you should be ahead of him.
We're seeing some faster laps right now. The fastest lap of this race was just set by Casey Kane right before that caution flag at a 31.82. That was a couple tenths quicker than anyone had run this entire race.
And, you know, Casey won in his first time out in that truck last week, and here he comes making his way into the mix of things, being a factor here before even halfway.
Just got a little bit loose off of 4 right there.
That's a helpless feeling.
Oh, man.
Just knowing you're going to hit that wall and hoping you won't. You talk about slow motion. That feels like slow motion right there.
There's so little room between the outside wall and the inside wall here. There's just no room to catch these trucks when these drivers get sideways coming off the corner.
Ray?
4 and 4's coming. Hey guys, Dennis Setzer says, I just cannot drive this thing, guys. We've got to work on it. And Danny Gill says, we've got nothing to lose, so let's put tires on that Chevy Silverado. So they'll do just that. The guys go to work on it. Also see Bobby Hamilton coming. Hamilton looks like he's going to get fuel only. No tires in that Square D Dodge, but Hamilton is away already. They keep going on the 46, and Setzer's guys continue to work there. Looks like they're going to pull spring rubber out of the left rear, and they get that work done. No big hurry here as they continue to work on a truck that's out on the track, so they did not need a fast pit stop, but once again, Setzer will restart this race from way back in the pack.
Dennis Setzer making his way back out onto the track. Setzer trying to hold on to second in the points. Ted Musgrave trying to take it away from him. Coming out of turn number 4, Carl Edwards leads the field with a green flag. And we're back underway with the Ford 200 on lap 49.
Caution, caution, caution so far has been the story of the day. Sure has. Not a lot of green flag running. Some pit strategy has put guys up in the front of the field that haven't gotten tires yet. The points contenders have been on pit road ever caution just about getting tires or adjustments of some sort.
If I was Ruderman, I'd let Bobby go right there and just maybe following.
It looks a lot, you mentioned the point contenders. It looks like Bobby is following Dennis. What Dennis does, he's going to do, just to make sure that he stays in contention and knows that he can win this championship.
Well, remember, he told us out at Darlington that his goal for that race was to beat the 46 truck. Right now, that's got to be the same goal he has, is to beat the 46 truck.
And I see him driving awful defensively, Phil. You know, he puts himself in position to where he doesn't like how things look. He backs out. That's what he just did on the back straightaway.
But look who he's behind. He says, look, I'm going to keep that 46 in my sight. As long as I got him back here with me, I'm happy.
Side by side for the lead, Carl Edwards out in front, Johnny Benson on the inside, and now Bobby Labonte coming into the mix. Ray?
Well, guys, Carl Edwards said on the radio, I think we should pit and get tires, and Cowboy Starlin, as crew chief, said, let's save them for the end. We got 89 laps to go, and we can get 2 sets on that thing. Next time we have a caution, they will definitely pit to put tires on that thing. And Carl said to Cowboy, you make the calls, baby. You figure out the way to win it, and I'll drive it.
Smart driver. Don't do that very often.
And he's been running about the highest line we've seen coming out of turn 4.
I bet you Casey Kane will reestablish the highest line you've seen. He likes that high side. Right now he's on the inside of Rudeman, but he usually goes to the top and runs.
Michael, you don't think that the sun surely is not affecting those guys that early off of turn 4, is it?
It's not helping, but the sun really doesn't become a factor until you get on down the straightaway, Darrell. When you exit turn 4, you're looking more away from the sun, and then as you head down the front straightaway, where it really hurts you, get your attention when you try to get down into turn 1, you can't see where you're going.
It seems like the guys are having so much trouble off of 4. I just wondered if they were looking into it coming up out of the turn there.
Happy hour for the trucks was late yesterday afternoon. It actually went until dark, and we talked to a lot of the drivers, and they said the sun was miserable. They put so much tape on these windshields. There are 2-point contenders right there. Look at Bobby go to the outside of Dennis Setzer.
Hamilton on the high side, taking away a position from Dennis Setzer, trying to secure his first ever Truck Series championship.
I think Bobby dropped back there with Setzer, and he said, man, you're running so slow, I got to go on.
Bobby had one of the best trucks in happy hour again, as he usually does. As you mentioned, Michael, he's just really playing conservative here. He said, hey, if we get to the end of this race and Dennis is not in position to beat me, then maybe I'll go on and try to win this race. Ray.
Guys, Carl Edwards just came on the radio and said, I'm starting to get a real bad vibration. It feels like possibly a right side tire starting to come apart. So let's keep an eye on that 99, getting a big vibration for Carl Edwards. Wendy?
Bobby Labonte didn't even want to pit on that lap 26 caution when they came in for 4 tires and fuels. It was Randy Goss's decision to come in and get those tires. Bobby's been extremely happy with his truck today. Now remember, Bobby did win the Cup race here last year, so plenty of experience for Bobby Labonte. If he wins today, he will add his name to an elite list of 8 drivers who have won in all 3 NASCAR series.
And you know what that call from Carl Edwards was? That was a wake-up call over to the motorhome lot. Because when somebody heard a tire might be coming apart, all those crew chiefs over there got their tennis shoes on to come running.
Remember at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago, he had a tire actually come loose on that truck, so I'm sure that's in his mind too. He's trying to see if that could be a factor. Bobby Labonte makes a strong move to the inside of the racetrack. Can he complete the pass, or will he go back to third?
Carl Edwards not wanting to relinquish it. And look who, and you call them cats. Look at the cat coming behind Carl Edwards right now. That's Shane Meal getting into the mix.
He pushed Carl right by Bobby Labonte.
Whoa, Bobby got loose big time.
Oh, here he goes sideways. Bobby Labonte spinning, coming off of turn 4. We've seen this numerous times.
No caution, no caution.
They don't need one unless they wreck behind him.
Bobby Labonte getting it straightened back out. He comes onto the track. No caution. Bobby Labonte hit the cones, the commitment cones, as you come onto pit road. Now that could cause a problem later for scoring for NASCAR or for decisions that they make, but no caution has come out as of yet.
They're going to be a caution. They're going to replace those cones.
2 flat right side tires for Bobby Labonte, so he will have to cut down pit road no matter what. He would love to see them put the caution out.
And so would Carl Edwards.
So he wouldn't lose a lap.
Carl Edwards had talked about problems with a vibration. Right now, I'm sure he would love to see a caution come out, but still no caution.
I think what you saw there or what you're seeing now is NASCAR understanding that it's going to get dark, and they've got to get this race run before it gets dark. They did not throw a caution there. We've seen cautions thrown in that instance forever, but if you look at the commitment line, Phil, there's a white line there. As long as you cross over that white line, I think NASCAR will count that as getting inside the commitment line.
Yeah, I don't think they want to throw a caution flag just to replace those cones.
Well, there was strong conversation about it. Matter of fact, the pit close guy was walking out to the end of pit road, and then they pulled him back.
Bobby Labonte brings his truck down pit road, and now we have a battle for the top spot. That's Shane Meal on the inside of Carl Edwards.
He's going to get by him on the straightaway.
Trying to take away the spot. He will take the spot away, and Shane Meal now leads this Truck Series race.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they make a spoiler change on these trucks back about Kansas or somewhere where they took the spoilers, made them smaller for the super speedways?
Well, they had those wings. Remember, they had those wings on the spoiler, and they've taken those off everywhere, probably with the exception of Texas and Daytona. So these trucks, a lot of these kind of high-speed racetracks, they ran that big spoiler with the extra 1" by 12" on each end.
Got you. Seems like they've run out a whole lot more since then. And how about it, Ray?
Well, guys, I just wanted to add on the gear selection for that Trim Spa Chevy up there at Shane Meal. We talked in a number of races this year where they would run a lot more gear than other guys. A number of people here have a 400 gear. A few have a 411. Now, I figured they'd have a 422 in this 15, but Shane Meal said they actually went the other way on gear, and the truck got faster. He said he thinks a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're going to finish this race somewhat towards the dark. He said they went away from the gear, and it actually improved that 15 truck.
Shane Meal out in front. Shane becomes our 7th different leader today in this race. This was prior to Shane Meal taking the lead. That's Bobby Labonte having troubles. He was in second. He's fallen back. Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Ford 200 on Speed Channel is brought to you by Federated Auto Parts Stores. Professional advice, brand names. Shane Meal holding on to the top spot. Johnny Benson has moved his truck past Carl Edwards, who's fallen back to 4th. Casey Kane has found something in that Team ASE CarQuest Dodge number 2, and he's looking to make it 2 in a row.
He's found Johnny Benson right now, looking to pass Johnny for the 2nd position. We saw him make passes on the high side. Lockheed's trying to do right now. We saw him pass Carl Edwards on the bottom of the racetrack. He can go anywhere he wants to go.
Well, K9 there, I mean, he's notorious for going on the outside. I mean, he loves that high line, and he makes most of his passes there. And that truck, you know what? I'd hate to drive that truck, because everybody that drives it wins in it, or at least they're supposed to.
Well, I know that Casey Kane won this Busch race here last year, and he did it running right around the top of the racetrack. Bobby Hamilton, when Bobby Labonte spun off turn 4, he practically stopped, Phil. Lost a lot of track position. He's starting to gain some of that back now. He drives past Andy Houston and up to the 22nd position. He's ahead of Setzer. Everything's going just the way he wants it to go.
At the halfway point, Hamilton in front of Musgrave, Setzer, and Edwards.
The truck slow, looks like the 07 of Sean Murphy. Ran so well early, led the race. Looks like an engine problem. You see a lot of smoke.
He was leaning on that thing.
It may necessitate a caution flag. NASCAR's looking at the racetrack, I'm sure right now, extremely hard.
I'd like to have seen Sean down on the apron. He finally gets the truck down out of the way.
You know what? I can't tell you, when I first started my career, if I could lead the race, I didn't care if it blew up or not. Let her blow, boys.
No caution has come out as of yet. Still letting the drivers know we've passed the halfway point. As Sean Murphy brings the 07 back around and tries to get it into the garage.
Now, we've run 67 laps in this race, Phil, halfway, but only 45 or 50 of those have been under green. The rest were under caution. So there's some guys out there that are getting close to needing some tires. David Rudiman, Carl Edwards, some of those guys are going to be needing a pit stop here before long.
They sure will. They ran most of the drivers got about 50 or 60 laps on their tires all day yesterday. They had early practice before qualifying and then their happy hour after qualifying. So most of them have seen the black flag right there for the 10 of Terry Cook. You see his winning net's supposed to be up there, and it's not, so that will necessitate a pit stop for Terry Cook to get his winning net back up.
Boy, it's been that kind of year for Terry Cook. Even
sure
when,
has.
he gets running pretty good and has something like that happen.
Battle for 9th place. Matt Crafton just in front of David Starr.
You don't generally get to spin out on a 1.5-mile racetrack and still be battling for the top 10. Usually you hit something, or definitely you blow all your tires out like we saw Bobby Labonte do, but David Starr got a bit of a mulligan there. We'll see if he can take advantage of it.
He was fortunate that the caution came out for his spin. He was able to get down pit road, put some more tires on the truck. Here he is battling for a top 10 position.
That's rough sledding right there, though. He's down on the inside of a truck trying to get the pass done. Just can't quite clear Crafton as they race down the front straightaway.
Tell you, Ron Hutter, he puts the power under the hood of that thing, and I know she got some steam.
The 47 truck that we saw run so well before Bobby spun out also has a Hutter engine. So two race engines in this field for Ron Hutter.
Still battling for that 9th spot. Crafton holding on to it in front of David Starr. Shane Meal continuing to lead. Well, let's take a closer look at the Premier Division of NASCAR and our Nextel Cup update.
Whew, this is all the fun you want to have right here, Rick. Look at there. 18 points from first to second, 21 covered the first 3. All top 5 of these guys can win this championship tomorrow.
Mathematically, they could have a 5-way tie for the championship, which Jimmie Johnson would win by virtue of the number of race wins, but it could work out with a 5-way tie.
And the cat that's won the most races, using a provisional, starting last on the field.
Unbelievable.
But the guy leading the points is on the pole, and so we got him coming from the front and from the back.
Exactly what NASCAR wanted. Probably one of the most dramatic races in NASCAR history. 5 drivers racing for the championship. That's Sunday at noon on NBC. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Good Life Great Race Sweepstakes. Bob Goodwin is getting treated with the VIP treatment here in Miami. He won the Ford F-150 Rick Crawford's paint scheme from the Sears Craftsman competition. Craftsman going with the new paint scheme for Rick Crawford, that camouflage look. Battle for the lead.
I'll tell you, look at Shane Meal pull over here to the side. Ray Dunlap.
Hey guys, I know Carl Edwards will be coming in here in just a few laps. He has said that they are just out of tires. He absolutely has fallen backwards, so they are going to pit here in about 4 to 5 laps. We know that. I'm on my way down now to check on the Ford because it appears that Bobby Hamilton may be off the pace a little bit, so I'll get back to you here in just a second.
Ray, you're exactly right. I listened to Bobby Hamilton's truck when he came by. He lost a position to Eric Norris, and I'm not sure that the engine didn't sound like it was running rough when he came by.
I think you're right. And by the way, Ray, there's oxygen. 2 more pits down. Keep digging.
Ray having to make his way a long ways on pit road today, working very hard as he did all year long. Bobby Hamilton just under 33 seconds that last lap.
He's getting ready to go a lap down, as is Setzer.
Setzer's very next truck behind Bobby Hamilton.
We're going to make some green flag stops, it looks like, and getting on this pit road, Michael, you know very well, it can be very, very treacherous.
And I hope NASCAR explains to the teams that if they put their tires on that white line down there, the commitment cones are missing. So we'll have to see how that plays out as well.
So Danny Rollins talking to his driver right now, Bobby Hamilton. Battle for the 10th position. David Starr on the inside. These guys have been racing side by side for the last 15, 20 laps.
Battle for 10th continued.
Races within the race. We look at the big picture, the championship. Bobby Hamilton, Dennis Setzer fighting it out for that. But Kasey Kahne looking to make it 2 in a row for the Team ASC CarQuest Dodge.
Jamie McMurray won in that truck just a month ago or so. So they've found some magic with the cats they put in the wheel, behind the wheel of that 2 truck.
That truck has won a race each and every year in the history of the series. This is the 10th season. They've won races in each and every year.
And no matter who gets in it, they win races.
Almost 3 wide. It's going to be 3 wide as they come off the corner. Oh, right behind David Starr. Matt Crampton tucks in behind him. Carl Edwards on the high side.
Now these guys, I'm beginning to get a little bit concerned about these tires, Daryl. You got Rudeman and Carl and some of these guys, Johnny Benson, running on tires that are getting up there around 60 laps, Phil.
Yeah, we've got about 65 green flag laps right now. We've had 17 laps of caution, 83 laps completed in the race, so 66 green flag laps on these tires. That's quite a few laps.
And how are the lap times, Phil? Are they slowing down any, or are they staying about the same?
Kasey Kahne is still running 32.38. His best lap was a 31.81, so he's only a half a second off right now. The very fastest lap that anyone's run in this entire race.
But Kasey is hauling. He's got 3 or 4 tenths on the whole field, and he's got over a second on Bobby Hamilton, Carl Edwards. Some of these guys we see battling side by side right here, they have lost over a second a lap to Kasey Kahne.
Bobby Hamilton is not but about 2.5 seconds in front of Kasey Kahne right now. That would be the last thing that he would want, is to go a lap down in this race. The only thing that he can look at is Dennis Setzer's right behind him. He's going to get lapped before Bobby does.
Misery loves company, Phil, and he just needs to keep Dennis Setzer in his back pocket, and he thinks he can win this championship by doing so.
But I tell you, Setzer is closed up on Bobby, because Bobby's been driving off from him. Looks like Dennis says, okay, here comes the leader. I got to step it up a notch.
Bobby lost that position a few laps ago when I thought maybe there was something wrong with his engine to Eric Norris, but he's maintained about the same gap behind Eric Norris, so maybe he doesn't have an engine problem. He may just be taking it. Watch how Dennis Setzer gains on him down the straightaway, though, Michael and Darrell.
He's definitely closing in, and Bobby's about a half a second a lap slower now than Dennis is, so Park on pit road.
And now Dennis Setzer making the pass on Bobby Hamilton. Now Bobby Hamilton is the last truck on the lead lap, and by the way, he's got Kasey Kahne about 2 seconds behind him.
And he'll erase that in about a lap and a half the way that truck's running. Wendy, what's happening with Steve Park? You see anything there?
This was a scheduled stop for Steve Park. They were hoping for a long green flag run, which they did get, but it's time for tires on the 62 as they go to work on the right-hand side. He was really loose on the last restart, and he was complaining that he needed overall grip. Jackman goes down as they go around to the left-hand side. Long pit stop for Steve Park. The 17 crew is on the pit wall. David Ruderman could be pitting in the next few laps.
Well, Shane Mill just barely got it on pit road.
Ray?
Boy, you're right, guys. He just barely got it under control to get off pit road, but he made up a lot of time. They're going to put 1 pound of air out of the right front tire for Shane. They're going to also do a track bar adjustment and a little bit of air pressure on the left side. Shane said his truck was coming to him on the long run, but he just couldn't hold on any longer. The guy I can't believe was still on the racetrack is Carl Edwards. He said his truck is absolutely a mess. We see the 24 truck at Travis Kvapil also heading down pit road, but I got to believe the 99 will be in here in 1 lap or so, guys.
Bobby Hamilton about to be lapped. Kasey Kahne in the Team ASA CarQuest Dodge just behind our points leader, Bobby Hamilton, looking to go 1 lap down.
Ruderman on pit road, and here you got a caution, guys. Got a caution. Come on, Ruderman.
Caution comes out. David Ruderman on pit road. He's going to more than likely try to get off of pit road.
With the field frozen, David Ruderman should be fine. He'll stay on the lead lap just by continuing on through the pits.
As will Bobby Hamilton. He was right in front of Kasey Kahne. The caution came out. Kasey had not passed him, so he will stay on the lead lap. Big, big break.
A couple of bad breaks, obviously. Steve Park with his untimely pit stop. Bobby Labonte has had a problem under the hood of his truck. I bet you if you interview him, he's got a huge smile on his face, though, about how that thing was running and how much fun it was driving that truck. I know when I was fortunate enough to get to work with these guys over at Charlotte, I wound up finishing 5th, but never had any more fun than that for sure.
There's nothing any more fun to race in a truck. Drivers are comfortable in them. You can do so much more with them. They're very, very driver friendly. Makes it a lot of fun.
Problems for Travis Kvapil. He came down pit road, had some work done, and then they left the catch can in the back of that truck.
Well, his problems were more than that. His problems was he made his green flag pit stop, and then the caution fell, so double jeopardy.
Also having problems was Steve Park in the 62.
I think his jackman fell down.
As they get done with the right side tires, Jackman's going to come around. He's going to
spin out on a lug nut.
Spin out on a lug nut. He just got up from grabbing the jack and never really got his footing. I'm not sure he tripped over a lug nut, but that leaves Steve Park right now being shown 2 laps down. The time it took him to get up and get back around the truck probably cost them an extra lap, because it's so hard to come down this long pit road here at pit road speed of 45 miles an hour and not lose so much time.
And a strong truck for Steve Park. He qualified well. He had a very good truck in happy hour. And a disappointing situation on pit road sends him 2 laps down.
These guys that was good timing.
Oh, there's a whole slew of these guys that wanted to see this caution flag.
What about Carl Edwards? I bet he can hardly breathe right now. He's so happy to get a caution.
Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, it's Speed News, the most comprehensive motorsports industry and consumer news and information program on TV. Speed News provides highlights and results from motorsports events worldwide. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed Channel. Kasey Kahne making his way down pit road. Ray?
I'll tell you, Rick, Kasey Kahne has really been talking about how bad the sun is for him as he goes to turn 1. He said, is there any way you can put some tape on this thing? They said no adjustments, just 4 tires and fuel for that ASE Dodge. The big question is who will drive that truck next year? We really don't know yet. You see Ted Musgrave in the middle, Johnny Benson at the bottom. Benson going to go with 4 tires and fuel, just an air pressure adjustment in the right front. Now let's go to Wendy on the 1 truck.
Ted Musgrave pulls into pit road as Steve Harani comes around to the left side, 4 tires, an air pressure and track bar adjustment for the 1. He was tight on the long runs. Also lots of complaints from drivers about the sun.
Bobby Hamilton is in here. They go work on the tires again. Once again, realize they're not so worried about really fast stops here, just consistent ones. Get all the fuel in it. Can they go the distance from here? I'm not sure. Well, yes, they can. They can make the distance on fuel here. So they wanted to make sure lug nuts were all tight. The 4 is back to the racetrack, and their big deal is no mistakes.
Danny Rollins, the crew chief and also tire changer for that Squared D Dodge. Number 4, he's looking to claim the championship. Homestead Miami Speedway. Roush Racing made the announcement earlier today who was going to be piloting their trucks for 2005. Ricky Craven will be the veteran taking over one of the rides, either the 50 or the 99, and Todd Cleaver winning the Roush Race for the Ride competition that they put on this year. And so Todd Cleaver, a new name in NASCAR Nextel or NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
I love the way they did that. They took all their stuff up to North Wilkesboro. They run those guys around there. They picked them 3 or 4 finalists, and they went to Darlington and said, let's see what you got, boys. That is an organization that is on it. I mean, that's exactly how you pick a young driver.
That's how they got Greg Biffle and Kurt Busch, and that's worked out pretty well for them.
Well, if you can get somebody to go to Wilkesboro and run a few laps, it'd be a pretty darn good driver. Most guys walk in and say, I ain't going to run here.
Let's go down to Ray, right?
Hey guys, I want to show you the right front tire for Bobby Hamilton. Check this out. This is the outside of the truck, and this is on the inside sidewall. And check it out here as this has come apart. They were very lucky, showing some cords right here. And Bobby had said earlier, whenever he slowed down for that one other caution, he was afraid that he might have flat spotted it. But boy, they got lucky to have this caution right now. As a lot of guys on the radio were telling us they badly need tires. What a break for our points leader, Bobby Hamilton.
See, that is a veteran driver right there. He knew he had a problem. He didn't pit. He rode it out. And that's going to win the championship for him.
He rode it out by slowing down, too.
Slowing down.
Trucks were passing him. I bet you he didn't even know they were out there, but he kept his calm, kept his cool, and was able to parlay that into a lead lap spot here midway through the race.
And he was just about to go a lap down, but yet he didn't panic. He was just riding his race.
He wasn't real worried about going a lap down because the 2 trucks passed him, and then I think somebody may have said, let Bobby get back on the lead lap. And then the caution came out right after that.
They are corporate teammates. They both race Dodges, right?
I think is
that your point?
That's the point.
This has become a 2-man race. Bobby Hamilton, Dennis Setzer, 62 points separate the 2 of them right now with 40 laps to go. One of these gentlemen will be the next NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion.
Well, we saw a great battle, only 10 points separating second, third, Dennis Setzer and Ted Musgrave. Ted Musgrave would love to get that runner-up position. He knows he can't win the championship. He's mathematically eliminated, but he would love to get to second.
Shane Mill dives down on the inside of Steve Park. Steve trying to get a lap back.
Steve Park started out in front of the field, although he was a lap behind or lap down from our leader, which is Casey Kane. Casey Kane's in front of Johnny Benson, Ted Musgrave, David Starr, and Jack Sprague.
99 just up against the wall off turn 4.
Look there, scraped the side of that truck. Uh-oh, 06 getting all jukey in front of him.
Regan Smith, we haven't talked a whole lot about him. Whoa.
But just remember, guys, low air. Seems like everybody struggles here for a lap or 2 on low air, just holding on to these things. Once the air pressure builds, they seem to be able to take on off.
And some of the numbers that we're hearing that these drivers will let out of these tires, they're talking about maybe 8 or 10 pounds they'll let out of the left side tires and 4, 5, 6 pounds out of the right side.
3 wide going into turn number 1. And now a race for the lead. Casey Kane on the inside, Shane Meal on the outside. Meal not able to make the pass. Kane holding on to the top spot.
Steve Parks maintains the position over them. Again, track position. He's right now on the tail end. He's almost 2 laps down. If the caution was to come out right now before Casey Kane passes him, he would get one of his laps back.
And then Steve obviously knows how important it is right now to remain in front of the leader, because then that will make him eligible for the free pass later in the race.
Right now there are so many trucks 1 lap down that it would be a long time before he's eligible to get the free pass. As we see Casey Kane drive back by him, that's the worst thing that could happen for Steve Park right now, is to be behind Casey Kane.
I made the comment earlier, a pass for the lead. Actually, Shane Meal went a lap down when Casey Kane went by him. He was not racing for the top spot.
Remember, Shane's another one of those trucks that pitted on the green before that caution came out.
But he is the first truck 1 lap down, so his life's good for him right now.
If he gets a caution flag. remember, we've only got about 35 laps to go in this race, so there's no guarantee that we're going to see another caution flag.
There's no guarantee they're going to see Kasey Kahne again. He's got the lead, and he looks like he's planning on going somewhere with it.
Now, Johnny Benson's still in the screen as far as competing with Kasey Kahne. Johnny Benson is second, but he has 2 lap trucks in between himself and Kasey Kahne.
I just want y'all to know one thing. After racing for a long time, don't ever say never.
The sun is getting worse and worse. We saw that view just a moment ago coming off turn number 4. How hard it is for these drivers to make their way down into turn number 1. And it's really critical, isn't it, Michael, to make a good entry down in turn number 1. And when you have the sun you're battling, it's extremely hard.
I think it's interesting to see how low the line has moved into turn 1. I think it's because of the sun. They can't go in there high. They don't know where the wall's at. So they arcing it in a little bit early, getting the things right down on the bottom of the racetrack, down in turn 1 and 2, where we see them up high in 3 and 4.
Mathematically for this championship, Bobby Hamilton, we had mentioned if he finishes 12th, he would lock this championship up. 14th, he would lock the championship up. Well, Dennis Setzer cannot lead the most laps, and so that takes 5 points away from him, and so that betters Bobby Hamilton's chances of locking up this championship.
Probably means he's able to finish 15th no matter what happens from the rest of the way. Got a lot of smoke. Rick Crawford.
That's a caution.
There's the caution. Darn it, Steve Park was all over Kasey trying to get back to just 1 lap down. Couldn't work it out. But that will be the free pass that Shane Mill so desperately needed. That'll put him back in contention. But like you said, Phil, just over 30 laps to go. Not a lot of time to make up a lot of track position.
Sure isn't.
Disappointing end of the day for the Craftsman number 14 of Rick Crawford with that new paint scheme for this final race of the season.
That's a paint job right there, boys.
Dennis Setzer still in it. We'll find out if he can make things happen.
This is the truck that Rick Crawford's driving in today's race, and the thing is, you can barely see it. Why? Because it's camouflage. And guess what? In today's world, camo is cool. And that's why Sears came out with this complete line of outdoor tools. They're cordless, 19.2 volts, and they'll run forever. Let's face it, all the work you do out there in the world is not always done in your shop. If you need to get out there, how about taking this reciprocating saw? If you're in your hunting stand and the branch is in your way, cut it down. These things will run forever too. This light right here is LED, and with 1 battery charge, it'll run 130 hours. All of this stuff is great, and what I really love is that they give you this bag. So you can pack up whatever you need. Let's see, I'm gonna need that for my hunting trip. I'm gonna need this. Probably won't need my drill, but you put it all in a bag, and now I'm camouflage.
I like that.
Well,
you know,
he actually will come back though, so don't worry.
If we had that this morning,
camouflage.
if we had that this morning over there fishing, we might have caught a fish.
Rick Crawford's truck being pulled in to the garage. Craftsman Toolbox giveaway, a great promotion. Speed Channel, NASCAR, and Craftsman would like to thank all of the fans who participated in this contest and supported the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Phil, who won the last toolbox?
As you can see right there, out of 2,100 entries, 34 of them correctly picked. Kasey Kahne and Keith Kamenis from Hamburg, Pennsylvania was our last winner of the season.
Congratulations to him, Kasey Kahne. Now he starts on lap 107. We've had 9 different leaders today. Kasey Kahne's led the most laps at 25 so far.
You see Shane Mill, he's still up trying to get his lap back. We thought he was going to be the free pass, and he was going to be. Oh, we're going to spin. Steve Park.
Steve Park gets spun around, and it looked as though Johnny Benson got into the back of Steve Park as they came off of turn number 2. We'll have to take another look at that, but Steve Park spinning around. The caution flag flies for the 9th time today.
Well, that's all at the end of the day like this. All you need is these cautions because it's double line restarts, and you're just going to have this for probably several restarts.
Shane was given the free pass last time, but he pitted before pit road opened. So NASCAR said if you make a mistake when you're the free pass recipient, you do not get it. So he did not get it that time, but he is in position right now to get it. So he will get the free pass this time as long as he doesn't make another mistake, and he'll be back on this lead lap. Ooh. There was definitely some contact right there coming off turn number 2. You saw the back end of Steve Park's truck lift off the ground.
I don't know if maybe Steve tried to squeeze up in line or if Johnny just didn't give Steve enough room. We'll see here what happens.
This one.
Steve just kind of slid up in front of Johnny.
That Harry Gant would say, I didn't even really hit him, I just got up again.
Got to get him. Got to get him. From David Spears, Spears Manufacturing, David Starr, Spears Manufacturing on board. Steve did a great job of spinning that truck down off the banking. Another look at it.
That.
Watch that back of that truck lift off the ground. You see the roof flap come up. That helps put the truck back on the ground.
Spoiler coming up on the top of the truck, keeping it on the track. 9 cautions have flown at Homestead Miami Speedway. And all of us should be thankful that we are in broadcasting, because predictions might not be the best thing for us.
Well,
only one of us has predicted that Hamilton may win this championship, and that was Ray at the halfway point.
And some of us got several picks. You see Michael picked Musgrave and Kraft in the start of the season, then he changed to Setzer.
I know, and if I could pick right now, like today, I would have picked Bobby Hamilton. I felt real good about him taking this thing.
Well, Phil, you've been strong for Setzer, and he really is still legitimately in this championship hunt.
Anything can happen. Again, if we go down, if Bobby Hamilton has trouble any time from now till a lap or two to go, then Dennis Setzer could still win this championship.
Yeah, he has to win the race, though.
I'm not getting my dog in this fight.
How many positions does Setzer have to beat Hamilton by?
He's 70 points behind, so he's got to beat him probably by 23 positions if it's 3 points per position.
Right.
And currently,
he led a lap, remember. Dennis Setzer stayed out on one of the caution flags to lead a lap, so he got the 5 extra bonus points.
That's correct, and there's 27 trucks currently on the field still running.
Dennis right now is being shown in the 13th position. He'll need to pass a few more trucks if something happens to Bobby Hamilton, but you never know.
You know what's deceiving is we're sitting here watching this on the monitors, and it looks real bright and sunny out there. But boy, when you're at the track, you don't realize how quickly it's getting dark.
And we saw this before in a race
saw it
earlier.
At Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, they worked on, they can shade cameras and make it brighter. They can let more light into the lens so that it does look brighter.
Yeah, the cameras really, they make you look brighter.
I appreciate that. Points as of now, Hamilton 53 in front of Setzer.
And everybody I picked this year is in the top 5. That's pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out.
We almost had 5 picks. So.
Was that as of now? If the race ended now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I made the comment Setzer would have to win the race. Actually, if Bobby Hamilton would drop out right now, Setzer would have to finish 6th to win the championship.
So you're saying I got a chance?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm saying you got a chance.
Yeah. Oh boy. It's going to get interesting here these last, remember how many laps there is? 30.
24 laps remaining in the 2004 season. Randy Kaiser brings the Ford Pace truck down pit road. Casey Kane looking to make it 2 wins in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The green flag flies.
I bet you nobody's ever won their first 2 starts in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
That will absolutely be a record.
Mike Skinner won his first ever start. Robert Presley won his first ever start, but no one has won the first 2 starts.
And I'm telling you, that truck is right.
It is rocketing off the turn.
It is. And Johnny Benson is driving up underneath of him as we speak.
Johnny Benson so close all year long. We talked about it was only a matter of time before he found victory lane. Maybe it's at Homestead Miami Speedway. Oh, smoke coming out of the 15 of Shane Meal. Shane Meal avoiding the cones, the commitment line, trying to get back out onto the track.
Battle for second. Ted Musgrave looks on the inside of Johnny Benson. Got a good run coming off turn number 2. Watch it down on the inside. You see Ted Musgrave, better than he is, backed off a little bit. He didn't want to drive in there right beside Johnny Benson to lose all the air off that spoiler. Wendy, what's going on with Ted?
Ted Musgrave was loose on the restarts all day today, so they're hoping the truck is going to come to him, but they really wanted those long runs. Not the case for Ted Musgrave. They are watching those points every time they pop up on the screen. They're checking out how far in between they are between coming into second place with Dennis Setzer, and they already have talked to Bobby Hamilton Racing. The 4 said they will work with them as much as possible for Ted to gain as many points to get the second place points ahead of Dennis Setzer.
Ted got another good run through the center of the corner in 3 and 4. Pulls up beside Johnny. See if he can beat him down in turn number 1.
Musgrave makes the pass work. takes over the second spot from Johnny Benson. Casey Kane out in front, and that's teammate Casey Kane out in front of him, the Ultra Motorsports team running 1 and 2.
There's David Starr right there. Remember, it wasn't that long ago we saw him spin over in between turn number 1 and 2, and here he is running in the top 5 in 4th.
Boy, David Starr and Dave McCarty have really had a great second half of the year. They were really struggling earlier in the year, but they have turned it around the second half of the year.
David Starr claiming 2 wins already this season. Wendy?
David Starr was having the same problems as Ted Musgrave, where he was loose right after the restarts, but it is coming to him, is what he just reported to Dave McCarty. They have made absolutely no adjustments on that truck today.
Well, it's not going to get any better than this because the conditions are about right. The sun's gone down. Sun's not an issue. The track's cooled down. It's time to get up on the wheel, boys.
Ted Musgrave, Darrell, is getting up on that wheel. He was about a 10th quicker than Casey Kane that last time by. David Ruderman, our 5th place truck, actually had the fastest lap. Again, David Ruderman, the fastest truck on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, he's coming. He's cutting into those 2 trucks in front of him. Get a little draft off of him. You get a little draft here.
Ruderman was the fastest truck, like you said, Phil. That whole top 5 is kind of sandwiching back together. You see Ruderman down to the inside of David Starr. Needs to really watch himself here, not get into a bind. Get that truck pinched down like you saw Bobby Labonte earlier. He decides to follow him through 3 and 4. Right on Ruderman's back bumper is Jack Sprague, the top 6 trucks, all vying for a top 5 spot.
We thought Casey Kane was just going to drive away from this field. He did have the fastest lap of the race, that last lap at 31.78, about 3/10 quicker than Ted Musgrave.
Here comes Ruderman to the inside. He's making a move. Wendy, what's he down there in the pit?
The only report from David Ruderman is that he's been scary free. Now, he did get caught on that caution when he's coming down pit road when the caution came out, so he lost a lot of ground on that last pit stop. But David Ruderman a little bit free, but still moving up through the pack.
Trying to get the back bumper past the Spears Manufacturing 75 of Starr. Starr back in front of him as they go by the start
Trying to fudge his way up the racetrack a little bit. David was having none of that. He said, I'm staying here.
Yeah, so close. I think Ruderman ought to try him on the outside, Michael. He's going to get a good run on him here down the back. But he's being smart today. He got hurt pretty bad down there at Texas by somebody getting under him. I think he learned his lesson.
I think he needs to swing in here on the outside and see if he can make anything happen there. He is a rookie. Don't forget that. This is Ruderman's first time around. So Ted Musgrave, a veteran in this series, is closing up on his teammate. We've seen these two trucks run 1 and 2 before. These guys are battling it out.
Ray?
Well, guys, actually it's happened 3 times in the career of this series that they've gone 1-2 with Ultra Motorsports. I thought it was going to happen last week at Darlington, but Musgrave finished 3rd. In those 3 different times that the trucks have finished 1-2, it's been Ted in front 2 of those 3 times, with the 1 truck first and the 2 truck second.
Battle for 3rd again. David Starr able to clear Johnny Benson this time. Look at David Ruderman look to the inside of Johnny Benson. Johnny's momentum slowed a little bit as David Starr pulled up in front of him and allowed David Ruderman to get on the inside. They drive down to turn number 1 side by side. Here's Ruderman on the inside again.
Yeah, he's going to stick his nose in front of him here.
He needs to gas it right there if he's going to get in front of him, David. Come on, buddy.
This is for 4th. David Ruderman on the inside. Oh, Johnny Benson. Benson with a good run on the outside.
He's going to have to squeeze him back up in line.
Yeah, he loses so much momentum, and here comes Sprague and company.
Now with 14 laps to go, Bobby Hamilton currently in 18th position. If he remains in 18th, Dennis Setzer would have to win this race to win the championship.
I think Bobby, we saw that graphic he's got in his pit down there. He knows where everybody is and what he has to do.
And I like the way they've gone about this today, Darrell. He wasn't proud. He didn't try to, he just wanted to win the championship, and that's exactly what they've done.
And you know what, Michael? Last year here, he told me he won this. He said, I don't know how fast this truck is. He said, this is the fastest thing I've ever driven here, and I'm sure it's that way today, but it's been very conservative.
Ray?
Hey guys, Gene Need just came down here. He's the crew chief for Ted Musgrave, and he asked a big favor of Danny Rollins, the crew chief for Bobby Hamilton. He said, do me a favor, have your driver go out there and pass the 46, who's just a couple of trucks in front of him. If he does that and moves Setzer back 1 more position, then that way Ted Musgrave would finish 2nd in the points. So not only is Bobby Hamilton's crew keeping track of these points every lap, but also the 1. Musgrave believes they can move up a position if Hamilton would just get by Setzer.
The Dodge guys, I tell you, they all work very closely together. They share a lot of information, setups, and obviously they're working very closely together today. Here's Ruderman again on the inside with help.
Got a little bit of a nose out in front of Johnny.
He's got the push there from whoever that can't who it is,
Matt Crafton.
and behind him. He got the push going down into one, made the pass.
Now you watch this 17 truck. It's fast. He'll drive up there and catch the 75, but then passing is a whole other deal. That's why this is interesting, guys. We're watching these trucks with so much downforce, having trouble when they're around each other. NASCAR's talking about reducing the size of the spoilers on the Cup cars to keep the cars less aero dependent. After what we're seeing today and how difficult it is for these guys to race around each other, might not be a bad idea. What do you think, Phil?
That's one of the reasons they took that big spoiler that Darrell was talking about earlier, the spoilers with the wings on the side. They didn't want these trucks to be so dependent like a Nextel Cup car on that rear spoiler.
You know what? I've spent my whole life second guessing NASCAR, and they always come out ahead.
Well, we've had some success.
I have never been more proud of our sanctioning body than right here a year ago in this race. When Ted Musgrave put them in a corner, he put NASCAR in a box, and they said, okay, what are you going to do? They said, Ted, you passed before the start-finish line. You penalized. Travis Kvapil's your champion. That took a lot of, what's that, moxie.
Moxie is a good word for that.
And the thing about it is, though, Michael, I like what Ted Musgrave did. He knew he was beaten, so he made them beat him.
He said, hey, let me get in a position that I can have enough points, and obviously it didn't work for him.
What if, like at Daytona, when Sterling got out and pulled his fender out, what if he'd have got away with it? He'd have won the Daytona 500. What if Ted had got away with that?
I talked to Sterling on a radio show the day after that. He said, hey, it was going to cut the tire down if I didn't pull it out. So I figured I'd take a shot, pull it out, and let me get by with it. I'd probably win the race.
Trials and tribulations Bobby Hamilton has gone through. He had problems earlier in the season where he had a big lead, broke the radiator on the truck, lost that big lead, now has built up enough of a lead that he's got a cushion on Dennis Setzer. His son Bobby Hamilton Jr. watching on the pit box, hoping that Dad can win the first championship in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Plus, it's big. This is a big deal for Bobby because he's lost his sponsor, Square D. Dickies is going away, and he needs to show people what that team's made out of.
And he also wants to bring that championship to Dodge. I mean, that's a huge deal. They have been such a backer of this team at Bobby's, and he's going to bring them the first championship.
And it's been 1975 since Dodge won a major championship in NASCAR, their Cup championship, 1975, almost 30 years. Great.
And guys, just to add to that, Bobby Hamilton has got with all of his Dodge official friends, and he told them, we are going to need more help next year if we don't land a major sponsorship. He said, I'll give you 7 days from the day we walk away from Homestead to decide what all you're going to give me as far as support goes. He needs some extra help, and they are going to definitely run the 18, as we told you before. So those guys are wanting some extra help. He told Dodge, I'll give you 7 days to commit to me, or I got to look around at my other options.
Right now, a battle for 12th. Carl Edwards on the inside of Dennis Setzer. Setzer taking the spot away from Carl Edwards.
Tell you who's coming fast is that 6 truck closing up on the back of Rudiman and David Starr. He's broken away from Sprague and company, and he's chasing down David Starr and Rudiman, look like.
Got a couple of trucks out in front that are looking to settle it among themselves. It's a nice battle with the top 5. And then I like the job Setzer and his team have done. They've rebounded well today. That truck was dog meat at the start, as Darrell said. Now he's competitive.
Sure was. They've worked and worked on that truck. Almost every time the caution flag waved, Danny Gill and his crew brought this truck in, worked on it. You see him right now, and it may help them finish second this point stand.
Carl Edwards close right up behind Dennis Setzer. This tells the story. Hamilton 50 in front of Setzer. Musgrave in 3rd. Carl Edwards in 4th. Now Musgrave only 17 points behind Setzer for 2nd. But Hamilton trying to secure the championship for 2004.
And boys, it's getting dark out there. Good thing this race isn't any longer.
Well, your eyes adjust, though, in those race vehicles. You can.
Yeah, but with the sun, you know, with the tape and everything the guys had on the windshields to start with, I hope they had a way of getting it off.
Dennis Setzer gets another position, passes the 20 truck right there of Andy Houston. Dennis now knocking down the door of the top 10, is currently being shown in the 11th position.
Wow. One of the big stories, not only Bobby Hamilton winning the championship, but the success of Casey Kane. If Casey Kane can hold on for the final 2 laps, that's 2 races in his 2 starts, finishing first.
And remember, he won the Busch race here, Rick, last year, so he knows how to get around this racetrack.
Yeah, he says, I might finish second in a Cup car, but I got this deal figured out.
And earlier, Ray had mentioned Bobby Labonte wanting to put his name on the list of drivers that have won in all 3 series. Well, Kasey Kahne now will just have to win in the Nextel Cup Series to put his name on that list.
That's all he has to do.
Just a piece of cake, Rick.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Phil, when we talked about this earlier today, you said it's only a matter of time. This kid is talented.
I totally believe that. It is just a matter of time before Kasey Kahne wins the Nextel Cup race. If not Sunday here at Homestead, Miami, it may be late. It may be early next year.
White flag comes out for Kasey Kahne and the Team ASE CarQuest Dodge in only his 2nd ever start in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He leads his teammate through the backstretch and into 3 and 4, and coming out of turn number 4, Kasey Kahne will take the checkered flag for the 2nd time, winning his 2nd career NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race.
Here comes your champion, Rick.
Bobby Labonte. In the Square D Dodge number 4, spin coming off of turn 4. That's not Bobby Labonte or Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton clearing that and comes across the start-finish line as your 2004 champion.
Good job, guys.
There it is. I know those guys are so relieved to have that load off of them.
There was a shot of his crew chief, Danny Rollins. I asked him if he slept any this week. He said, I slept pretty good last night, but earlier this week, didn't get a whole lot of sleep.
Until you've been there and you come down to the last race and everything's on the line, you just can't imagine the kind of things that go through your mind, the nightmares you have, and how nervous you are.
A very cautious race for Bobby Hamilton. When Dennis Setzer came in, Bobby Hamilton came in. He wanted to make sure that he always had Dennis Setzer in his sights. Bobby Hamilton claims the 2004 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and he does it for Dodge, the first ever championship driver for Dodge in the Truck Series. A very emotional driver, Bobby Hamilton, celebrating his first championship in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Doing burnouts as he goes across the start-finish line, letting the fans know he appreciates their support. We go down to Gatorade Victory Lane. Wendy?
Kasey Kahne climbs out of the Ultra Motorsports number 2 truck. 2 starts in the Truck Series, 2 victories for Kasey Kahne. Not a lot of changes on Kasey's truck today. Kasey, you're batting 1,000. You must like this truck race and you make it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, that truck, Team ASE Dodge was really good right there again. We had to make one little change the first stop, and from there it was just good pit strategy. We beat the one out of the pits. He was really good too, and you know, I think on the long run when the sun was out, the track was a lot slicker, and you had to you know, roll out of the throttle a lot more and drive it. And right there, I mean, this Dodge was really good. We were me and Ted were pretty fast right there.
Ted Musgrave had a hard time with this truck coming to him. It was better on long runs. Were you having the same problem?
Yeah, my truck was better on long runs too. It took off good at the starts too, though. I mean, early on when we were back in the pack a little bit, it was pretty fun being back there and, you know, drafting and racing, and it was cool. These guys did a great job in the pits again too. It was 2 weeks in a row. It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool for Kasey Kahne. He'll take another victory in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Rick?
Kasey Kahne, you would say, won the battle, and a guy by the name of Bobby Hamilton won the war. Here's the crew from the Square D Dodge team as well as the Dickies Dodge team. All Bobby Hamilton Racing owned teams. And so Bobby Hamilton and his crew enjoying this championship. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Ford 200 on Speed Channel is brought to you by Ford, the official truck of NASCAR, by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA, and by Cialis. Cialis is here. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Cialis is right for you. Welcome back. We look at the Ford point standings. Bobby Hamilton officially your champion. Dennis Setzer 46 points out. Ted Musgrave holding on to third. Carl Edwards finishing fourth. That's the way they came in. That's the way they finished the season.
What a great job by Matt Kraft, and top 5 finishing the points.
Let's go down to second in the points. Dennis Setzer standing by with Wendy.
Dennis Setzer comes home second in the big race. 46 behind points, ironically.
Imagine that. You know, I'm just proud of this team. David Dollar and Rob Morgan, all these guys have done a great job putting the Silverado team together. And, you know, I guess it's sad we finished second again, but maybe that's a positive. You know, that just solidifies this team, you know, 2 years second in a row in the points. You know, it's hard to say it isn't a good deal.
Were you aware that Ted Musgrave was possibly going to pass you for second place throughout the race? There was some negotiations with the 1 and the 4. Second time you finished second in points. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I knew Musgrave was really strong all day, and we just had to keep plugging around right there. Danny Gill and all the guys made some great adjustments. We started out really loose during the day and made some early adjustments, got a little better, then had a bad adjustment, and then got 2 better ones. And come on fairly better there at the end, but not good yet, but a little bit better at the end.
All right, Dennis Setzer comes home second in the points race, Rick.
Thank you, Wendy. Bobby Hamilton bringing the Square D Dodge down to the front stretch, and he will park that and get ready to climb out of that truck and make his way up for the trophy presentation. Ray.
Okay, so Bobby Hamilton brings that Square D Dodge in, and many times I've had the pleasure of sharing victory lane with this man. Bobby, come on out right now, because you know what? Right now I get to say for the first time ever, Bobby Hamilton is a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion. How does that feel?
Man, it's all about them right there, I swear. Just put the camera on them. I told you, this wasn't that big of a deal for me. This is huge. I mean, I wanted to win it for Dodge and all my people. They worked so hard for so long. I'm riding along there, and I get to feeling the vibrations and the knocks and the pings and all, and I finally just fell to the rear and said, to heck with it, I got to finish this thing.
Those trucks make a lot of noise when you're trying to win a title, don't they?
Yeah, they really do, and it's the same noise I hear all year, but I tell you what, I feel for anybody that has to go for that. I can't imagine what them guys are going to go through on Sunday. I just can't imagine.
Okay, well, we have some formal presentations coming up here in just a little bit, but ladies and gentlemen, out of his truck, please welcome the 2004 champion. There's Bobby Hamilton.
Hamilton doing everything he had to do to win the 2004 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship. The trophy presentation when we come back. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series post-race show is presented by Craftsman. Let's go back down to the championship stage and Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. The trophy is here, and we're just about ready for the presentation, so I will hand it over to the president and CEO of NASCAR. Here's Mike Helton.
Thank you, Ray. Bobby, you've been part of NASCAR for a long time, and you and your family have been great contributors to our sport. We couldn't think of a greater champion for the Truck Series. Congratulations, and we're proud of you, and we're proud to have you as our 2004 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion.
All right, and we also need to bring in Teray Claiborne. He is the director of, what's your title again?
It changes every day. Director of Motorsports for Sears Craftsman.
Okay, and for Bobby?
And for Bobby, indeed. Bobby, it's our pleasure to crown you the 2004 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion, as your name is synonymous with success and excellence in the sport. So with that, we hand over the trophy and crown you our champion.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it a lot. Thanks.
Hey, Bobby. Do you know when the last time a Dodge won a championship in NASCAR?
What, 78?
74 and 5, Richard Petty.
Really? Well, you know, that puts me in good company right there. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite owners I drove for. I was able to win my first Cup race with him. They've done a lot for my family. So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Tell me about a quick overview of this season. So much has gone on for you to move into a new shop and find out late in the season that both of your sponsors were leaving and still be able to stay focused to win this championship.
Well, I mean, you just got to do that. I mean, I still had great support from Square D and from Dickey's Corporation. NASCAR jumped in there and tried to help us with a lot of things, you know. It's just it's a big, huge team effort. Dodge has worked hard for us, and I think we're going to be okay for next year. I don't know, you know, when we built our new shop and everybody said, boy, you're making a move that's going to set you behind, and it just seemed like the guys, the best come out in them when you've done that. I mean, we had Chad in critical situations this year. The best come out in him. He went out and won a couple of races. So it just seems like when you back these guys in the corner, they're like old junkyard dogs. They just come out pawing.
Most of the guys run race shops out of Charlotte, North Carolina. You're in Nashville, Tennessee. Did you ever think that would be a problem to be able to help you win a championship?
The problem is getting people to Nashville, but once they see what kind of organization we have, I think they'd rather be there than Charlotte. So I wish I had something big enough to hire 100 people, but I don't. But I'm just, you know, we're in good shape. I'm really proud of all the people I got. I keep saying that. but I'm an owner driver, and I know what it takes to make these things work, and it's all about people.
Well, he did a great job as the driver, and as an owner, he has an excellent organization. Bobby Hamilton is the champion. Tomorrow night, it's a banquet to celebrate his 4 victories this year and the first title for Dodge in the Truck Series.
Bobby Hamilton started the season 10th in points and worked his way all the way up to where he led in the points 10 weeks. After 10 races, Bobby Hamilton was your leader, and now it all culminates with winning the trophy.
You know, last year Bobby Hamilton started out as a ball of fire, led the first 7 races, led the points after 7 races, then had some trouble and really tried to do some things that maybe didn't work out. He ended up finishing, I think, 7th in points. This year, he didn't make those same mistakes. Bobby Hamilton was up front this entire season, ran well, led a lot of laps, got a lot of bonus points, and emerged victorious.
The thing about Bobby is he started in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a homeboy. Started there at the fairgrounds. He's driving late models, and he got a break to drive in the Days of Thunder movie for Rick Hendrick, to drive a camera car. And he went to Phoenix, and he impressed everybody so much at Phoenix in that camera car with all the extra weight and everything it had on it that I talked to Rick, and I said, Rick, give him a break. Give him a chance to drive something else. Rick did, and from there on, Bobby has been on a fast track, and, of course, it's good to see him win this championship.
Holding his granddaughter, Bobby Hamilton celebrating this championship. Let's go down to Wendy Norris.
Ted Musgrave and Carl Edwards finished 3rd and 4th in the points respectively. Let's first talk to Ted. Ted, you had some negotiations going on during the race. You almost got 2nd.
Yeah, not really negotiations. You know, the crew chief said, hey, you know, if we can, you know, get all you can. I was behind Johnny Benson. He goes, if you get past him right now where Dennis Setzer's running, you'll get 2nd in the points. And I did get by him and got behind my teammate there, Casey Kane, for 2nd in position-wise, but I guess the last lap, some shuffling went on through the in back there with Dennis, and he was able to pass some trucks, or some trucks let him pass, or whatever. I don't know, but right now we're 3rd and 4th here, Carl. So it's 3rd for 3 years in a row. I can't complain.
Now, Carl, we're losing Carl in the Truck Series. You're going to move on to bigger and better things. Do you have any idea what your plans are yet?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. I just got to say thanks to all the fans and everybody back at home for supporting the Craftsman Truck Series. This has been a dream come true for me to race with guys like Ted. Congratulations to Bobby Hamilton, and I hope everybody, this is the last time I get to talk about Super Chips, so this winter, go get yourself a Super Chip, go do donuts out in parking lots, whatever you got to do in the snow.
But ranch dip.
Yeah, no Super Salsa, Super Chips. But I had a good time racing this year.
You'll be fun to watch.
It'll be fun next year, but I really like the Truck Series. I love it.
We'll see Carl Edwards move up, and Ted Musgrave will be back to battle for the championship in 2005.
Carl Edwards taking his patented victory lane flip either to the Busch Series or Cup Series next year. Bobby Hamilton Racing teams enjoying the celebration from the championship stage. We'll be back to wrap things up after this. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series post-race show is brought to you by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. Bobby Hamilton, the first owner-driver winner since 1992, Alan Kulwicki, the last one to accomplish that feat, both owner and driver. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, it's certainly a team effort. Actually, if I can have Goat pan over here and show you all the guys that are on this team. Here's the Square D, and they had the Dickies guys up here. That's a team effort. But I want to show you a couple other gentlemen. If you look back here, this is Ted Flack. Ted Flack works at Dodge. He began there back in 1967. And who did he work for? This guy over on the left. The guy on the left is John Worley. He started at Dodge in 1964. It's the work of these two gentlemen that did a lot to help Bobby Hamilton get here. John Worley will make it to Daytona next year, and that'll be his last race as he gets ready to retire. Dodge has had a long road to get here, but to do it, a lot of it has to do with those two gentlemen. Wendy?
Thanks, Ray. Looking back at this season, as a rookie myself, has been pretty crazy and wild, and I've learned so much. I'm just fortunate I get to take off my rookie stripe in Daytona along with David Rudiman. I'm pretty excited about that. But one of the greatest moments this year for me was my first chance to victory lane was also Chad Chapin's first chance to victory lane in the Truck Series in Dover. It was a pretty cool moment for both of us, but I'm just so fortunate to be part of the Speed Channel broadcast. It's been an amazing year, and I think next year the competition level is going to be great. Guys?
Well, thank you, Wendy. Let's take a look at the unofficial results from Homestead Miami Speedway. Casey Kane claiming his second ever victory in his second ever start in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
David Ruderman fought back with a nice 4th place finish. Matt Crafton finishes out a terrific season with a top 5. Regan Smith with a 9th place finish. Great job for him, Michael.
A great run for him. And you can see there Bobby Hamilton soldiered home to a 16th place finish, just methodically worked his way to the end of this race, kept Dennis Setzer in his sights, and was rewarded with his first NASCAR Craftsman Series Truck Series championship.
18 trucks finished on the lead lap. Chase Montgomery, another one of the trucks out of the Bobby Hamilton Racing stables. Early problems for John Wood got him out of the race. Look at the final point standings. The 4 point standings for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Bobby Hamilton claiming the championship. Dennis Setzer, ironically, 46 points out of the top spot. And Ted Musgrave held on to finish 3rd in the point standings, which is an incredible feat. He's never finished out of the top 3 in the point standings ever since he's been running the Truck Series.
Sure hasn't. Ted's 4th year in the Craftsman Truck Series, never been out of the top 3. But I'll tell you, this was a terrific season. The competition, I've been around this Craftsman Truck Series since its inception back in 1995, and I've never seen competition any stronger than it was this year. We had Toyota come in with 7 major teams, really increase the level of a competition in this series. We saw some new winners. We saw Chad Chaffin win. We saw Shane Meal win. We saw Carl Edwards emerge as a superstar, and Bobby Hamilton becoming the oldest Craftsman Truck Series champion at 47 years old.
Bobby Hamilton was dominant midway through the season. He had that truck flying. He built him a nice point lead and then was able to bring it home. As I think back to the 2004 season, my favorite memory is Carl Edwards going down pit road at Daytona running about 190 miles an hour, saving the truck, getting it back on the racetrack, and winning at Daytona, and then flipping off his truck. Just an amazing story Carl made us aware of at the first race of the year. We followed it all year long, and it was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys and checking all this mess out.
Well, we'd like you to come back again next year, Michael, because we've had a lot of fun this year. Amazing things took place this year. You mentioned the win at Daytona for Carl Edwards. That a very historic win, as well as the Bristol win. Carl Edwards winning at 2 of the most historic tracks that NASCAR runs at.
Carl Edwards also won at Kansas City after crashing on the first lap of the race. They fought back, worked on that truck, ended up in victory lane.
And David Ruderman, you know, he started the season as a rookie, never had seen many of these racetracks. He wound up being the Rookie of the Year this year in the Truck Series, and he proved that Toyota he's driving is going to be a truck you'll have to contend with in 2005. He won the pole here at Miami, finished in the top 5, and he's been strong all year long, got involved in a bunch of wrecks throughout the year, but that truck was always going fast when it hit something.
Well, the 10th season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series has come to an end. We want to thank Wayne Auton and all the NASCAR officials for another spectacular season of great racing. From seasoned veterans to first-time winners, the Speed Crew has brought you every emotional minute. Talented people behind the scenes, like all the camera people that bring us these awesome pictures, and the folks in the truck that make all of the important decisions, and also the people that have been calling these races. I want to thank not only Johnny Benson, Chad Little, Kenny Wallace, but Darrell Waltrip also was up in the booth with us this year. I thought Wendy Norris, Ray Dunlap, another spectacular year for them down in the pits, bringing us all of the great stories, as well as Phil Parsons. You're with me every week in and week out up here in the booth. We've seen some of the most emotional times. Travis Kvapil claiming maybe one of the most emotional wins for him in his career at Michigan. The first ever win for Toyota in the NASCAR Upper 3 Series. And so a lot of emotion taking place, and it culminating with the championship for Bobby Hamilton at Homestead Miami Speedway. For all of us at the Speed Channel, we want to say thank you for joining us for another great season of NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competition.